Is Deion Sanders about to pull off the unthinkable? All Pac-12 edge rusher B.J. Green to visit Colorado. But first, once you come across this video, please like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you got your post notifications on so you know every time Simply Ball drops another hot banger. And if it's your first time coming across the channel and you're new to the platform, do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button, post your comments, share the video out. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up. Now let's get right off into it, man. We got some late breaking news out of Boulder, Colorado. Now, you know Deion Sanders has been hot and heavy in this transfer portal and getting guys to commit to Colorado. You know, Deion Sanders has bolstered that Colorado football program with 24 new recruits coming in. He got guys at the skill position. He got guys at the defensive side of the ball. He got guys on the offensive side of the ball. And what he has done so far in this transfer portal is unprecedented. He's heavily recruiting. These guys are flipping their recruits. As far as quarterbacks that came in, that's going to back up Deion Sanders. You got Walter Taylor from Vanderbilt. Like I said, he's 6'5", 235 pounds as a quarterback. You got Destin Wade. He's from Kentucky. He's 6'3", 223 pounds. Now, they brought in some explosive receivers. The number one guy that they got was Cordell Russell out of TCU. He's 6'4", 215 pounds. Also, you brought in Will Shepherd from Vanderbilt. He's 6'3", 205 pounds. And now that's big targets for Deion Sanders. Also, you brought in Terrell Timmons Jr. from North Carolina State. He's 6'2", 195. Now, also the tight ends that they brought in, Shaman Matea, Cincinnati, 6'5", 245 pounds. Now, this is where Colorado needed to address a lot of issues, was the offensive lineman. So what did they do? They brought in Khalil Benson from Indiana, 6'6", 305-pound junior. Tyler Johnson out of Houston, 6'5", 325 pounds. Then you got Justin Mayer, 6'4", 320 pounds out of UTEP. Got Yakari Walker, he's 6'2", 270. Now, as far as the defensive lineman, you got Anguan Barnes, that's a big catch, out of Alabama, 6'5", 315 pounds. Then you got Chidozie Nakawu from Houston, 5'11", 295 pounds. Now, as far as the edge rushers, you got Samuel Okolo out of Pittsburgh, 6'4", 245 pounds. Then you brought in Keaton Wade, Destin Wade's brother from Kentucky, 6'4", 245 pounds. Also out of LSU, Quincy Wiggins, 6'5", 265 pounds. Now, as far as the cornerback position, they brought in Preston Hodge. He goes about 6 foot, 190 pounds. So what they doing is they bolstering that up. And also, you got to remember, they got the big fish on the offensive line in Jordan Seaton. Now there's reports out that Coach Prime is interested in landing another edge rusher, and by the name of B.J. Green. He's from Arizona State. Now, this guy, he's projected because he was supposed to be going to Washington. But like I said, it's the Nick Saban effect. When Nick Saban retired from Alabama, Kalen DeBoer, he left Washington, and now he's the head coach at Alabama. So that's why B.J. Green, the 6'1", 270-pound edge rusher, flipped his commitment from Washington. Now he's going down to Boulder, Colorado. Now, you guys know, back in 2021, Green totaled 5 sacks for the Sun Devils as a freshman walk-on edge rusher before earning a scholarship. This past season, he finished with 39 tackles, 11 tackles for losses, 6 sacks, 11 QB hits, while being named All Pac-12 second team. Now, if you guys don't know, B.J. Green's youth coach in Atlanta was no other than Deion Sanders. Now, several years later, Coach Prime is recruiting Green to join his Big 12 bound Buffaloes. So, man, that's a major get if they can get that edge rusher from Arizona State. And man, Deion Sanders is working. He is working. Now there's reports out there that Deion Sanders is still trying to, get his coaching staff together. Like in the latest interview Deion Sanders had, he wants to get it right. He's saying these kids deserve the right coach at the right time to nurture them, to provide them with everything they need to excel to the next level. But Deion Sanders, he is working this recruiting thing. And like he said when he went on the interview and he was talking to Stephen A. Smith, he said, man, for 2 straight years, they got the #1 recruiting class. Now, if Deion Sanders can, strike another big fish, and like I always say, Colorado Buffaloes is trending in the right direction. Now, it's going to be very interesting, man, to see, who he brings in as his defensive coordinator, because he got some studs on the defensive side of the ball. And, guys, I always talk about what they have now in that secondary. They got the likes of Deion Sanders, Cormani McClain, Travis Hunter, Roderick Ward. That's just to name a few. And I know a lot of you guys that watched Colorado last year was wondering why come Cormani McClain wasn't getting on the field, why come he was in and out of the lineup. Well, the reports came out and Deion had that interview in the post-game press conference after one game. He was saying, said player was not in the film room, was showing up late to meetings, wasn't honing in on his craft. But there's reports out there now via Cormani McClain's social media that he's out there working hard. He's out there working hard, and he's under the tutelage of Travis Hunter. Now, y'all know who Travis Hunter is. He's the two-way superstar for Colorado. He plays wide receiver, and he also plays cornerback. Now, with them two guys alone, with Cormani McClain and also Travis Hunter occupying one side of the field, the left corner and the right corner, that's 2 lockdown corners. And then you still got to throw in the nickel coverage with Silman Craig. Now, Silman Craig, man, he led the team in interceptions last year. And then you got the hard-hitting safety in Deion Sanders. Also, you got Roderick Ward. Roderick Ward has been paying big dividends in that secondary as well when he gets his chances. And he's been on the field a lot for Deion. But there's video out there now of the Colorado Buffaloes doing their strength and conditioning where these guys are working. These big offensive linemen, they throwing these weights around. So Deion Sanders is getting them guys together. And for all the reports out there talking about Deion Sanders and Deion Sanders over in Paris, France at the Fashion Week, this is the off season. I mean, these guys trust Deion Sanders and Deion Sanders. So they wasn't able to attend that first meeting because they was handling business during Fashion Week. This is their downtime. Now you got about 6 months until the season starts, but a first meeting and everybody's in a big hoopla because they didn't attend that first meeting. That's nothing to be alarmed about, man. Deion shouldn't have to come to his son's defense or his defense to let people know, this is why they was going. You don't have to do that. It was a team meeting with the players, some of the new players that came in. Also, team meeting with the coaches. They didn't have to attend. So everybody's making a big deal out of it. It's no big deal. You shouldn't raise the red flag on that. You should be commending Deion Sanders for what he's doing with this Colorado Buffaloes program by turning this program around, addressing the needs that he needs from what he saw in the way the team played last year, especially addressing the offensive line. And I think what it's going to do to start the season, that the offense will be on the same page with Pat Shurmur. Pat Shurmur is a hell of an offensive coordinator. He can get the job done. He took over the season late when Sean Lewis was demoted. Sean Lewis took the head coaching job at San Diego State. But right now, like I said, Deion Sanders still has to focus on bringing in a defensive coordinator. And he said he was down to 3, prospects, but he's got to make a decision soon because he wants to get this offseason started off on the right foot, building the continuity and the team cohesiveness. But at this time, man, if he can land this big fish in BJ Green, that's going to be another explosive edge rusher on the defensive side of the ball for the Colorado Buffaloes. So you guys let me know what y'all think down in the comment section. Please share the video out. Please give the video a thumbs up. And this is going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. We're going to catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
Another one.